those of you that are subscribed to me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. They mean the world to me. So this is the forecast for the sign of Leo for the month of December of 2020. This is a broad spectrum reading for anybody who may watch this, pertaining to those with Leo, either sun, moon, or rising, or heavily placed planets in Leo. So if you have a lot of planets in Leo, you may want to watch this also. For those of you that are cross-watching for Leo because you may care deeply, that's completely fine. This is a broad spectrum reading, therefore it is intended for a bunch of people. So some of it may fit, some of it may not. If it doesn't fit, that's completely fine. It doesn't mean anything's wrong or bad. It just might mean you're working on something different than the majority of the Leos out there. If it does make sense, please feel free to take whatever you need and leave the rest. But any decisions you make in your personal day-to-day life after having watched this video are your responsibility. So never take my advice or these readings over, any sort of professional opinions of, like, say, doctors or lawyers or anybody that is a professional in their field. Please, use your own best judgment and intuition, intelligence, that sort of thing. Trust that over anything and everything else. I should say happy Thanksgiving to all the Leos out there too, because it is Thanksgiving Day. And let's see what we have in store for the lovely sign of Leo. So this first card I decided to take from Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors deck. This morning I was kind of questioning my intuition as to which deck I wanted to use, and this sort of jumped out at me as the signifier card for the month for all of the signs. I feel like it's appropriate because we are in holiday season, which is an opportunity to not only get together with our family, but also to honor our ancestors. And, Christmas is such a religious holiday, so I thought Angels and Ancestors was fitting. It also is a nice way to sort of tie up the year. So this card signifies kind of where my Leos want to be reflecting upon or connecting to, whatever guide that we need to be connecting to or channeling within ourselves for the month of December. So let's see. Gives us a little insight into what we might be experiencing too. So you guys have Arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. Interesting. Not quite sure what that means. I feel like what I'm looking at what really draws my attention is the directness of this arrow. I kind of get the sense that Leos might need to be a little bit firm or direct. Clear, concise would be an energy that I get with this. Pinpointing in a way, setting our sights on a suggested outcome and really sticking firmly to it. Keeping our focus this month would also be something that I would associate with this card. To me, this arrow feels very much like I'm looking at the straight rigidness of it, and then the pinpoint here is like, don't lose sight of your goal this month, Leo, is kind of the feeling I'm getting from this. Because it's such a sort of stark card, I am going to shuffle the deck and look at those cards and see if more further meaning comes out of this. But being assertive or direct, keeping our focus is definitely key. And I think that is more the meaning of this card than, say, surrounding ourselves in protection. But who knows, maybe some of my Leos might need some sort of form of protection. I'm not sure. I don't get that sense. It more seems like keep your eye on the prize is what I'm hearing as I'm looking at this card. So let's see. Also, I will say this too, we might be achieving quite a bit this month. I feel like this arrow is traveling great distances. So, like when we pull back the bow and we shoot off the arrow, it kind of sets off a chain of events, and we can travel further than we think this month, or maybe get more accomplished if we keep our intentions clear and we're really focusing on that. We're going to actually, maybe my Leos might go further than they expect. That's also another message that I'm hearing with this card. So let's see what's going on for the Leos. This first card is the default setting card or the U card. It tells me sort of where you guys are going to be centered at most of the month of December. You will go in and out of this card, but it gives me insight into what you could be potentially creating for the future too. So let's see. So we have the Six of Wands. I love this card because it is fire energy, which is right in alignment with Leo energy. Six of Wands is about success, celebration, coming together, desire, the ability to sort of build upon that desire, to create that desire, to sort of celebrate that. I do feel like, again, the directness of this arrow card to me coincides with these wands and the Six of Wands. It's about sort of staying firm in our positivity, in our desire, in what it is we want, what it is we want to celebrate, what it is we want to create. Making that our focus this month really drives home this opportunity to kind of set our goals, attain our goals through, even if they seem far-reaching, I think that it's accomplished with the flight of this arrow. I hope that makes sense to you guys. So I like that you guys are kicking off in your own home element. It feels very productive, very excited, very positive. So let's go to the next card, which is the Foundation card. This card tells me a bit about the past, what sort of opened the door for things to be the way that they are today in the reading. It also can sometimes be the memory of this card that holds everything in place or drives everything in the current moment. So this is the Knight of Wands. This is very much Leo, Sag, Aries energy. I think this is more Sag energy. I'm not quite sure, but it definitely is associated with both. This is about, look at the onward hoe kind of, and I'm not talking about that kind of hoe, Leo. Get your mind out of the gutter. But this is sort of that onward hoe energy, like that excitement, the fervor. I would say that there might be something that we put into effect or something that we've been chasing for the last few months. Now is the time to kind of really celebrate the opportunities of that, the work that we've been putting in for the last few months. It's going to come to fruition. I kind of get a feeling like we can see the, I don't want to say that like the finish line, but to me, it feels like I'm looking at the excitement of this Knight of Wands. It feels like we can actually see the culmination of our efforts. Does that make sense? So we've worked hard, we've pursued our goals, we've stayed true to them in the months previous to this. We've taken action and moved towards doing those sort of things. We've been in service towards ourselves or others. We've done the right things for the right reasons from this place of sort of loyalty or whatever it is. It's very, to me, this being another Wands card speaks to it being very much in line with Leo's sort of belief systems, their truths, and acting from those places, acting and doing the right things sort of for the right reasons, really putting in the effort. All of that brings us to the Six of Wands in the month of December, which allows us to start really see that, celebrate the work that we've done, and continue to do the work through this arrow to keep our focus. I keep getting this pinpointed focus of don't let anything deter you. And that might be the protective aspect of this energy. It's not like we need to protect ourselves from, say, an outside force, or maybe we will, I don't know. We'll get to the outside influences in a minute, but it's more about keeping our focus on that, like that eye on the prize, that goal. Right, and the Knight of Wands is delivering this or sort of driving this from underneath. Right, that's the foundation of this whole the work that we put in, say maybe earlier in the year or in the last few months, is really pushing us forward towards moving into 2021 with some serious intention too. That's also the directness that I feel from this arrow card. So the next card is the Spirit or Soul card. This tells me a bit about where your spirit or soul is at and what it wants in all of this. So this is the Knave of Pentacles. This is like the Page of Pentacles. This can be a very slower moving energy. This to me feels a little bit more methodical, and being in the spirit or soul space, it says that your higher self wants you to be smart about what you're doing, be careful about what you're doing, be practical about what you're doing, right? Temper some of this Wands energy. There's a lot of fire in the Six of Wands and in the Knight of Wands, and that works for Leo, right? That impulsivity, that take action, that do it now, we'll deal with it later kind of feeling. Now, I don't think that that's a bad thing, but it feels like the the Knave of Pentacles is speaking from the higher self space. It's about like, okay, whoa, slow your roll a little bit, Leo. And think about this for a minute. Not that there's, how do I want to say this? It's not like we need to worry, but we do want to learn about how to kind of ground our ideals. And the reason why I say that is because the Knave of Pentacles is about sort of that energy of earth and being grounded to the earth and learning that aspect of material wealth building, or how we go about making our dreams and our desires real. And the reason why I say the importance of that, this being in the spirit space and it being an earth sign card, right? The Knave of Pentacles, this arrow is all about flying through the air at a very quick speed, which kind of matches that wand's energy, right? It sort of wants to travel very fast, very far, maybe getting even a little bit ahead of itself. And so that might be where we need protection too. Our higher self is calling out, going, whoa, 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 wait a second, let's slow it down. Take it step by step. Doesn't mean that we have to give up the excitement or the desire that we see in this Knight of Wands or in the Six of Wands, but we also want to be careful of being too impulsive, too, I don't know, like impetuous in a way. To me, the Knave of Pentacles speaks to this idea of anything that's worth having is worth sort of working for, being patient for, and allowing that. And so this kind of message coming in from the higher self says, okay, take a moment and breathe, take a moment and ground, keep your perspective. That Pentacles energy will also help to kind of keep that focus of this arrow energy, right? This driven kind of message that I'm getting from this arrow card. All right, so let's go to the outside influences. The outside influences are people, sometimes events, sometimes things more vague like belief systems or energies that could be affecting us during the month of December, either positively or negatively. So the first card is the Queen of Cups, or Queen of Chalices. This could represent as a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Generally, Queen of Cups is cups upon cups. So we're talking about quite a bit of emotions here. We're talking about quite a bit of emotional connectivity. Now, if this is not a specific person, right, it doesn't necessarily have to be a female. Generally, it's represented as obviously it's the queen, but it would be representative of a female, but it could be, a highly emotionally demonstrative person just in general. But I feel like she's a loving, kind energy. Right? Or if it's a person, it's going to be loving and kind. She's going to teach us a little bit about maybe how we feel. She brings in the sort of benefit and the love, the endearment, the kindness, right? Now, if this is not a person outside of us, this is a situation, there's opportunities to grow here this month emotionally. There's opportunities to really get in tune with how we feel in a positive way. From the outside influence, because that's what this Queen of Cups would represent. And so, hey, Lisa, how are you? So she is bringing about this opportunity for us to really feel abundant and connected to our desires and the production of those desires or the creation of those desires in a very emotional way, right? I mean, extremely emotional, because she's Queen of Cups, cups upon cups. All right, so let's go to the other outside influence. So we have the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles, sevens are always about sort of conscious choices. I kind of feel like it's interesting to me because there's like this money, sort of material wealth versus emotional thing happening on the outside influences. The Seven of Pentacles to me is about kind of not necessarily feeling like we have everything that we need. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. Like there might be some situations this month that could challenge us. And okay, so where the Seven of Pentacles feels unsure monetarily to me, right? And there's this goal of the Knave of Pentacles up in the spirit space, right? This idea of learning how to create what it is that we want. And Leos have all of this desire in us, right? All of this fire that we see both in the Six of Wands and in the past in the Knight of Wands, right? That drive, that opportunity, that see it, I'm going to go like create it and make it happen, and getting all excited around that. When we have these two outside influences, I have this Queen of Cups, like she's like, Leo, do you really feel it? Like, let me show you how to feel this into existence. Where the Seven of Pentacles is sort of like we might be challenged this month by situations that don't feel like we're making progress, right? And that's where this Knave of Pentacles comes in the higher self, all right? I hope this is making sense to you guys. This to me feels a little bit wonky. It feels like, you know, maybe our finances aren't really paying off this month, or we're not feeling like we're fully making great headway in the efforts that we're doing. Although we've been driven by them and we're excited about them, right? And we want the success, we're trying to bring in the success. It might be coming in a little bit slower than we expected. This Knave of Pentacles speaks to this idea of our higher self kind of getting us into alignment with that and allowing that to happen. We're learning something in this process. We're not only learning something emotionally that can be taught to us from the outside world, but we're also learning something sort of materially or physically at a spiritual level. So we want to bring that in, that acceptance, and sort of accept things if they're not quite adding up this month. That's okay. Don't lose that focus. Keep, you know, if anything, protective isn't like necessarily we're protecting ourselves from the outside. We're protecting our ideals. We're protecting the desire that was set off months ago in this Knight of Wands, right? This sort of goal that we've like put into place, and maybe we're kind of in this place where it's not. I feel like he can sort of see the idea very clearly when we kicked it off months ago, and we're sort of celebrating and still pursuing it, but the energy might be slower than we would like and a little bit wonky or off. And Leo might have a bit of a, I don't want to say a struggle, but like a little bit of a struggle. Like I feel like the Seven of Cups or the Seven of Pentacles feels wonky to me. Like it just doesn't feel like it's coming in the way we expected it or the way we thought it was going to come in. That's okay though, because I feel like this Queen of Cups is coming in to sort of show us how to feel our way towards it, to keep our perspective, to keep our you know, our eye on the target, right? And don't let the outside environment, however it may trickle in financially or materially, dictate to us whether or not we're being successful in our endeavors just yet. Does that make sense? Like there's a patience with that Knave up in the spirit space that we need to like adapt or access this month as we work our way through this Seven of Pentacles. I don't want to call it a struggle, because to me the Seven of Pentacles isn't like dire. It's just sort of like wonky. It's like not exactly like, I almost like when I look at these cards, I want to say like, well, why isn't it paying off? Like I saw it so clearly. I knew that this was the route I needed to take. What is going on here? And I feel like the Queen of Cups is coming in with this beautiful cup to kind of show us where we are abundant. And as we connect to those emotions and those feelings, it allows us to get even deeper into the Six of Wands, this drive, this energy. And we still have this Knight of Wands pushing everything forward, which is a very good thing for the Leos. But we need to ground it with the Pentacles energy and the learning that's taking place while we're in this process. Like, give it time is my feeling. Now, when we're talking, I know the Pentacles, I'm talking a lot about money, but I can also see this being applied to, like, say, love relationships, because we have the Queen of Cups on one side. So what I mean by that is, like, if some of my Leos who are watching this are desirous of, like, say, a person or a relationship that they thought they saw coming, that they put into effect with this Knight of Wands, or they started taking action towards in the months previous towards getting to with this Knight of Wands, it's possible too. But again, I feel like there's this patience with the Pentacles energy that we need to sort of allow for during the month of December. And don't lose our focus. Don't lose our, you know, what's the word? Like, I want to say, like, continue to take the shot, right? Don't give up. It's there for you. It's a matter of the kinks are being worked out right now, or the, we're fine-tuning the emotions and sort of the grounding it a little bit to really bring it in. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for my Leos. And whatever this is that you're trying to bring in, like, each one of you, it's going to be a different thing. Some of you, it might be a new job. Some of you, it might be a new relationship, or, you know, more money. Whatever it is, this month might not feel like it's quite connecting or landing the way you expected it to, but that's okay. Keep focus and keep moving with it, and allow it to show you through this Queen of Cups emotionally, like sort of where the wins are, where the achievements are, even if they don't necessarily show up full bore, overflowing and abundant. And I know that Leo, you guys being as generous in nature as you are, you like things to be over the top and big and bold and all of that, and that's what you're used to and how you create. And so, and certainly with this Knight of Wands energy, the intention was in the beginning to get to be really big and bold, and it's on its way there. It just needs time, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from these cards. So we need to trust that, settle into that, and stay focused on our journey or our path with this arrow. All right, so the next card is the potential outcomes card. This card tells me a bit about sort of where things will end up for the majority of Leos, barring that nothing major changes. This is not set in stone, so it just gives me a little insight into where things are naturally progressing. If this is a negative card, we can use it as a warning to make choices and changes now to affect the outcome. If it is a positive card, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally sort of working our way towards this without having to make too many differences or changes as we move through the month. So this is a good card. This is the Ace of Swords. So to me, this is all about direction towards the future. It also ties in very nicely. If you look at how this angel, she's sort of swinging herself towards the future and pointing in this direction like the sword. Also like this Knight of Wands that has this wand that's leading towards the future. Whatever plans we put into effect and we acted on impulse and took action months ago, got excited about, we're moving towards that by the month's end. Ace of Swords, swords being the element of air, which also feeds fire. It's also very complementary to Leo in their nature, their element. Air feeds fire, right? So like sort of the mind can also feed the desires. And when I'm looking at this Ace of Swords, aces always represent new beginnings or new opportunities that we didn't see otherwise coming. When I'm looking at this Ace of Swords at the end of the month, to me, it feels like, although that Seven of Pentacles might feel like things aren't quite fully connecting or coming together as quickly or as easily as we thought they would, as we settle into that Queen of Cups energy, as we appreciate what we do have, as we celebrate each and every moment of it through that Six of Wands, as we go through this month as best we can, and we balance it with the grounded nature of the Knave of Pentacles, right? And sort of stay grounded and kind of continue to learn through this process. We open up at the end of the month in this Ace of Swords, which is this new way of thought, this new way of opportunity. Maybe it could be a new way of sort of achieving the goals that are trickling in through the month of December. But whatever it is, I love that this Ace of Swords is kicking off, ending out December and moving us into 2021. Now, when I look at this arrow card too, it sort of resembles this sword, right? It's like the sword is flying through the sky, similar to how an arrow would. So it's almost like if we keep our focus, we can really literally launch it out through our thoughts or through our mind at the end of the month with even more accuracy, with more drive, with more excitement. And the opportunity is there. Clear decisions will be able to be made with that Ace of Swords energy. We'll be able to sort of really stick to those ideas and have them carry us into the next few months of the coming year, and hopefully be very productive with that Ace of Swords, right? So I feel like this is, how do I want to say this? Like, if anything, this might feel a little bit like a transitional month for my Leos. It may not feel like you guys are, how do I want to say this? Like, I feel like with the Ace of Swords, at the end of the month, you guys will feel like you're finally able to move forward in some sort of new aspect, a new way of thought, new way of decisions, whatever, but it feels inspired and exciting again. The rest of the month, although it's celebratory with the Six of Wands in the center, we need to stay focused on that celebration, on that desire, and feel it truly through that Queen of Cups opportunities that are coming through in the month, right? Don't let the actual reality of the slowness of things coming together, or, you know, maybe there's things that didn't come together quite the way that we thought they should or whatever. Don't get caught up in that. That would be the Seven of Pentacles energy. Just allow that stuff to happen around you. And when that does, I would tap into that Knave of Pentacles, which is about learning patience, learning dedication, learning stability, those sort of energies to bring you through these Seven of Pentacles moments throughout the month of December so that you can get to the inspiration of this Ace of Swords and get back to feeling that sort of Knight of Wands energy that pushed you forward in the first place. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, guys. I do feel like this arrow, though, to me is a journey that's bigger than, like I said this in the beginning, like there's something that, like, we're traveling towards with this arrow that if we maintain this focus and we truly feel it, like through the opportunities that the Queen of Cups presents us this month, and we continue to channel that positivity and that sort of desire, but temper it with the practicality of the Pentacles patience, because the Knave of Pentacles can be a little bit of a slow ride. I mean, I would say the Knight is probably the slowest card energetically of the entire tarot. Knave would probably come in second. But at least there's opportunities to learn. If we, you know, get in there and stay patient with ourselves or with the situations around us and don't get in, what's the word, like discord with them, we're going to be fine. And by month's end, new doors open, new opportunities, new year, new excitements, and we really get to move in like gangbusters in January. All right, so that is your forecast. I hope that made sense, you guys. Please give the video a like, a share, a comment, a subscribe. Please cross-platform. If you're watching on Facebook, go over and like my YouTube and subscribe to it, and vice versa. If you're enjoying it on YouTube, please go over and follow my business page on Facebook. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a wonderful December and a great set of holidays, and I will see you guys next year. Well, the yearlies will come out for 2021 all throughout the month of December to give you guys insight into your yearly, and I will see you next month at the end of December for your January readings. All right, have a great day, you guys.